Oh, it's so awful, you're going to love it.
Well, here they come again. They heard that things were happening. With mics in front of faces, their lips begin a flapping. They talk about world and local news reports, and even Steph Michaels, cause she's a doggy whore. Cory says,
man, it's a goddamn joke. Corruption is abundant and the POTUS is a hoax.
Stacey says,
man, I'd like to act, but Americans are lazier than most, that's fact.
So go get a bowl, a spoon, and some cereal, and sit your ass down. It's time for AirWreckRadio.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, and thank you for choosing AirWreckRadio. We'd like to apologize in advance if there's any inconvenience caused, but we're going down. It's the 30th day of September in the year 2013. I am Cory.
And I'm Stacey.
And this is episode 21 of AirWreckRadio.
We're legal now.
Ooh. We have a tremendously huge show planned for you, Wreckheads.
You're not allowed to say huge anymore. Somebody else has the...
Did they trademark that?
On that, yeah.
Damn Donald Trump.
Yeah.
We are getting down and dirty on some serious topics tonight, like Obamacare, UFOs, and impending doom. Ooh. So let's get drunk in the Hideaway Brewery Studios, the official beer of episode 21, Fake Radio, doing fake reads for real beer.
This week's real beer is Keystone Light.
Yes, yes.
Brought to you by the Hideaway Brewery.
Well, one of these days, Hideaway Brewery will have another batch available.
Yeah, it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
Promise.
And before we get rolling along, I want to remind all of our Wreckheads that we have new friends. And new friends mean new support, and they need new support. So slide on down to rockpodcast.com. Give them the hit on the website. Sign up for them on iTunes. Sign up for the feed on Stitcher. You'll find AirWreck Radio on that feed, and you'll find a bunch of other quality local podcasts on that feed.
That's ROCpodcast.com.
Yeah, ROCpodcast.com. And, Twitter, Facebook, the usual suspects.
Yeah, blow them up like you blow us up. Do that.
Do that. Be that. But before we get to all the serious hubbub that we got going on tonight, we want to welcome the AirWreck Radio support staff, News Corps, and the stars of GirlNews. Tammy and Nikki, welcome to the show, guys.
Hi.
So are you excited to actually be, in front of the scenes instead of behind the scenes?
I'm moderately excited.
That's wonderful enthusiasm. Yay!
That's how I feel about this show every week. Hey, it's Monday. That sucks. But at least it's AirWreck Radio Day.
Oh, it pulls it back around together. So do you have anything interesting going on in your life?
Nope.
Well, thanks for filling that in.
You're welcome.
Ooh.
The Bills won.
The Bills did win.
Yes.
And in relatively impressive fashion as well.
A heart-stomping game. That was like, whew, what a yo-yo.
One thing we've done well all season long for 4 weeks straight now is give you good football.
Good games, yeah.
Yeah, there's been some...
Was the Jets game a tie that went into overtime?
No.
What happened there?
It was us our offense's total lack of production, our defense not being quite on par as they usually are, and the only reason the Jets didn't stomp the ever-loving hell out of us is that they set an NFL record for penalty yards in a single game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for them. Good for them.
But every game this year has been within a touchdown, within 7 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been an interesting and fun season, and we're 2-2, so as you know.
two others and this game of those were all like within a touchdown in the last couple minutes of the game, too.
Yes, it's been all down to the wire as well. So it's been some great football.
What a nuts game. What's that officials... Who's the guy that officiated that?
Booger.
That dude's awesome.
Booger.
But, like, when he had to call back that I think it was an interception that he had to call back.
He had a couple of callbacks that...
It was that recall
They were good callbacks. They were just shitty ones to have to make.
4 minutes
It took
in there.
forever.
Because
the suspense was horrible.
he was right on all of them, but they were just shitty ones to have to make.
I saw him come out, like that first one where he was in there for about 4 minutes. I saw him come out of that booth, and I was like, this is not going towards Buffalo. He looked absolutely dejected about having to tell this crowd.
That was the one. I think that's the one you were thinking with the Scott Chandler reception for first down. Scott Chandler, our tight end, went up for the ball, came down inbounds with
Had his
one
hand
foot.
under. Oh, no.
With
That's
one
the one,
foot,
yeah.
and the other foot was laying on top of the other one and never touched the ground.
Yeah.
And they called it a reception, which would have kept us in the drive. But the callback, which was a good challenge, it's the NFL, it's not college. Both feet have to touch the ground, no exception.
I didn't like that. I think if your one foot is touching your foot on the ground,
it's go to college.
I know.
Those are the
did go to
college rules.
I know. It really pissed me off. But if it had been the other way around, I would have been satisfied. I've been like, that was a good call.
But on the other hand, if you want to watch college football, every time somebody's helmet comes off, the play is called dead.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you get your trade-offs.
I bet college football helmets come off a lot harder than NFL football helmets, because I noticed
less often
during the game yesterday that like players were taking their helmets up over their head between plays just to breathe a little bit. Those helmets come right off, man.
Oh yeah,
Because they're hot and they're showing their beautiful faces.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Maybe that's it.
I apologize. Me and Nikki aren't used to having to listen to you guys talk during this.
Oh.
And this is...
We usually talk shit the whole time you're recording, so now you get to hear our thoughts.
Oh, we should have put them on the left channel and us on the right channel.
And you asked us to sit in with you.
And then turn the left channel down all the way.
No, you're not
That'd
turning us down.
have been genius.
I'll get on the forum and just type what we're saying.
Here goes
Angela will know.
the holes.
Let's turn some knobs here.
Anyway, we started talking football, and they just clammed right up.
Anyway,
NFL helmets seem to come off a lot easier because people get hit a lot harder in the NFL. That's one of the many reasons. It's a matter of force on impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you watch college football versus professional football, the first thing you notice is the speed at which they run.
How about that call on the tackle? Manuel took the knee and his helmet come off.
Oh, man. A lot of people would be like, that's not football. That absolutely is football. Manuel baited him into the penalty.
Yeah.
And Manuel did it. He baited him into the penalty. He hit him. The helmet came off, which was just a brilliant stroke of luck.
Very nice. But,
he laid there for a minute.
Dude could have hit him as hard as he hit him without flipping him over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he definitely put an arm around him and flipped him over.
Well, but he didn't necessarily make a bad play either, because what Manuel was trying to do was run time off the clock.
Right.
So that's why he wasn't hitting the knee
stopped,
directly. Yeah. So if nobody charges him, he's just going to keep running time off the clock. Somebody's got to charge him to get him to take the knee. Well, once you get within a certain, distance and you're moving and you weigh 275 pounds plus pads,
right,
moving at full speed, brakes.
I'm saying the hit's inevitable. You don't have to wrap him up and flip him over.
He didn't do what you would normally do in good taste, would be throw the arms out and try to throw yourself to the side so as to not plow the guy. He wrapped him up and took him down.
But whatever,
because he wasn't happy that they were playing college type technical trick you ball.
Well, boo-hoo, man. You
we won
playing against a college coach.
We won. Fuck you.
And boo fucking who? Yeah, we won. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe.
No, that's stupid.
Yeah,
we did believe, and then the Dallas made us believe it in our asses twice in the 90s.
I've spent half my life believing and getting no results.
Exactly. So absolutely nothing interesting has happened in anybody at this table's life this week.
That's not true. You went And we're a judge again. You
Oh,
sneaky
yeah,
bastard.
that's right. I forgot all about
Yeah,
it.
you judged some comedy.
Yeah, it was a long set this time, too.
Like a ninja, too. Stealth. Nobody even knew. Special guest cameo.
Yeah, yeah. I showed up to watch some comedy. I was just gonna have some beers and watch the open mic night. Maybe get some chicken wings.
Yeah.
Because every time I go there and I judge, I can't eat. It annoys me. I don't want to be eating while people are doing a set and I'm judging.
Yeah, especially not like 3 feet. It's awkward to eat 3 feet away
Like,
from
how am
somebody
I
who's not
doing?
eating.
These chicken wings are awesome.
Yeah, shut up, dude. I'm trying to chew my food and I'm laughing too hard. You lose.
Yeah, one guy got that.
Yeah.
But no, it's great watching all the local acts come out and try their hardest and work on their shit. And it's an open mic night on a Thursday. They don't have to be refined headliners. They're just trying to work their shit out.
Where
It's
can
fun.
folks go for that open mic night?
Oh, you can find that at 911 Brooks Avenue. That is the address for the Rochester Holiday Inn at the airport. In there, you can find the Holiday Bar, the Holiday Inn Hotel Bar.
It's a pretty
And
nice looking
that's
bar.
the Joke Factory, baby. Thursday nights open mic nights and a contest for as long as the contest is running. And then they got headliners on Friday and Saturday. And the whole deal. It's a comedy club just like any other. Outside it's a little classier because it's in a nice hotel instead of a shitty, half burned down building.
It is a pretty nice hotel.
Yeah.
Was it the same people 2 weeks in a row?
There were a lot of the same faces,
But not all.
but there was a bunch of new ones too. Yeah.
Is that a bar in the Holiday Inn?
Yes. Oh yes. I was half drunk by the time the second or third comic was
We
up
should
there.
do like
so.
a segment from there. All four of us on a
We'll
Thursday
We'll
night.
get a hotel room.
The guy who MCs it is the guy who runs our podcast network, so I'm pretty sure he's got that locked down.
Boy, he's going to be real surprised when we Guerrilla Radio that.
With
We just show up on Thursday night.
microphones and a laptop.
Just sit on stage and look at the comics and be like, the comic is telling a joke now.
Does he podcast from there?
No, he's the MC.
No, it's completely not a podcast thing. It's a
What does MC stand for exactly?
Master of Ceremonies.
Oh.
wow,
I didn't expect that.
huh?
Is that
What?
a true thing?
Yeah, absolutely. MC is Master of Ceremonies.
Master of Ceremonies Hammer.
Interesting.
Yes.
That's interesting.
I'm gonna start calling myself MC.
Yeah.
It sounds fancy now that I know what it means.
Yeah, when you go to a comedy club,
I thought it might.
there's usually one guy who comes out, warms up the crowd a little bit, introduces a comic, goes away. The comic does his thing. The first guy comes back on, thanks this guy, keep it up, keep the applause going. Now we're going to introduce George, fucking Blow over here.
Yeah, it's like a host,
Yeah, exactly.
but it's master of ceremony.
Yes.
In hip hop, it's mic controller.
There you go.
In hip hop, it's my controller.
Okay.
In podcasting, it's microphone chatter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like chatter, like as a what is that? An adjective?
Yeah, absolutely.
A person who chats into.
Yeah.
It's like a pronoun. I don't know.
No, it's a noun. Chatter is a verb. It's an action word.
No, but not as an action word. As a person who's chatting, a person whose job it is to chat.
Oh, is a
chatter.
chatter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, isn't that what you guys do?
Yeah,
You're like
yeah.
MCs
we
then.
MC
You're MCs.
apparently.
But when you're talking about comedy clubs or festivals or things like that, it's a master of ceremonies.
Yeah, take that, MC Frontalot. We're MCs too, and we have time to be on our podcast.
That's like a psychologist looking at a doctor and be like, "Yeah, I'm a doctor."
Yeah.
No, that's like a chiropractor looking at a doctor and be like, "I'm a doctor."
Oh, that's
There's
not
no
true.
PhD. There's no PhD in my office. You can be a licensed chiropractor and not have a PhD.
Yeah, but you don't get called doctor.
No,
You
but
get
they
called
consider
doctor if you're a
themselves
dentist,
doctor.
which is horse shit.
He's got a doctorate.
I agree.
He's got his PhD.
Maybe it's a little harsh to
It's a
call it horse
DDS,
shit.
but it's a PhD.
It's a salesperson who knows how to do stitches and yank teeth.
Pretty much.
And solder really well, because that's how I
Or an
imagine
attempt- or-
fillings work, is like solder.
That's exactly how you solder. I've had quite a few fillings lately, and it is pretty much like I'm sitting in a car garage with a really hot guy who's like, this won't hurt at all.
I totally think I could be a dentist, because like I can solder, and I know how to use pliers.
Except for that hot guy part.
Whatever. I'll shave. It's cool.
I'll shave my balls.
What does
I've
it have to
never
do with
seen
dentistry
my
or hot
dentist
guys?
balls, actually.
Well, you never see a dentist with a beard. Well, I guess that's not true.
I don't
My
think
dentist
that's
had
true.
like a goatee.
Kiana's dentist has a beard. He also told me I didn't know how to floss it with me.
This is
terrific.
riveting conversation. This is riveting conversation.
Help us.
Help us. No, there's no help for us.
How did we get
So-
on
Now we're all picturing
I don't know, but-
Dennis's balls. Picture your dentist and then try to picture him.
And
No,
Fuzzy
better
Fuzzy
idea.
balls.
Picture your dentist shaving his balls. Now that is a funny image.
All right, now I'm pulling this out of the fucking tailspin here. You got a video game, didn't you? That we have yet to talk about in the show.
Yeah, I got that zombie cheerleader game.
Really?
No.
No.
I got GTA 5.
Yes, me too.
It's awesome.
Fucking unbelievable.
Super awesome.
Have you done any amazing feats of?
I climbed. I
dastardly deeds?
scaled a mountain on a dirt bike, and I got almost to the top. I was like, I'm going to get all the way to the top of this and have no fucking bullshit happen, right? And there was like tourists walking up the mountain, and I'm like, I haven't seen people. I saw 2 bobcats and a fox, but I haven't seen any people. Well, I promptly shot them and
It's time to eliminate the witnesses.
promptly got a star, which got me 2 cop cars, one at either end of the trail, both heading my way. I sat on the side of a mountain on a dirt bike in the most ridiculous fashion.
Ridiculous. What?
Yeah, it was the most ridiculous fashion that you can imagine. For 2 minutes waiting for these goddamn cops. Over 1 star. I only killed 2 people.
I only killed 2 people and I got 1 star.
They're not real people. It's not like I actually killed anybody. Then why does it take so long? But anyway,
You didn't make it to the top?
I did.
Oh.
I did. I sat on the side of the mountain until the cops went away. And then I finished scaling the mountain, found a parachute, jumped off. It was very beautiful to look at. This is a very pretty looking game from vantage points.
And one of the most well-mapped games of all time. They've even mapped the sea floor in its entirety.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I think they took a look at Skyrim and they were like, why don't we do that?
Yeah.
Because it's literally, it's better, it's more visually appealing map than Skyrim. I'm not sure if it's bigger, but it's certainly visually appealing.
For Grand Theft Auto, it's one of the biggest. It's San Andreas, GTA 4, and Red Dead Redemption's maps combined.
Yeah. I'm a little upset that in all that space they didn't find a means to get Las Venturas in there, where the casinos were.
Oh, well, that's Vegas. You'd have to go to another state.
It was all one state in San Andreas. San Andreas was comprised on the PlayStation, the last gen.
I was going to ask you this question.
Was comprised of Los Santos, which is the city that appears in GTA 5,
which is Los Angeles.
Yeah. San Fernando, and that was obviously it was San Francisco. And then Las Venturas, which was Vegas,
and
Reno, kind of combined.
Okay, Reno is on the other fucking side of the country.
Reno,
not Reno.
Nevada?
I'm thinking Atlantic City. Yeah, not Reno, Nevada. I'm thinking Atlantic City. Either way, you're across the state by at least 200.
But they
miles.
called all of that the state of San Andreas.
Yeah, which is the state of San Andreas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is
a completely different universe this game takes place in. They said so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Even though they reference all the old games, there's been a reference to the kid that could never get out of the neighborhood on Grove Street.
Yep.
And there's a reference to a Eastern European in Liberty City making moves, which was our boy Nico.
There's also a series of collectibles that will give you a confession letter about the murder of what's her name, Johnson, CJ's mother from San Andreas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found the first one of them on top of a mountain. That same mountain.
I will have to go look that up because I just been playing.
There's 50 of them. Good luck. It's gonna be a lot of work to find out it was Big Smoke. We already know the answer.
I've been playing pretty along the lines linearly with the game.
Yeah.
Until a certain point where I kind of got lost on the line. So I went to each player and I've been clearing shit off the map, and I have yet to really cause any real havoc. But it's going to have to happen.
I have definitely taken some breaks to cause some havoc, especially like the minute you get the player Trevor.
Oh, you
havoc
really
is kind of implied.
You really want to start some shit with Trevor. But that motherfucker can fly. But to try to pull things along a little bit further, like pulling along a dead horse. Because we were both beer fans, I wanted to read you the story. It's not really a headline, I guess. So I just wanted to. I'll drop it in now.
Fire away.
Dogfish Head's Celeste Jewel Ale is made with lunar meteorites.
That's a roughly terrible name. Celeste
Jewel Ale. But it might be genius. It's right
Why
on the
didn't
line.
they just call it Celestial?
I don't know.
Like, that's a long way for a wordplay name that
Didn't need a wordplay.
didn't at all, because it would have been... Why don't you tell us about Celeste Jewel Ale?
Right, I'm lost. Is this a beer?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, here's a beer that's literally out of this world. Celeste Jewel Ale, a small batched beer concocted by the geniuses at a Milton, Delaware-based brewery called Dogfish Head, is made with real lunar meteorites.
You get their beer around here. You can find it easily. There's
Dogfish?
Their IPA is terrific.
This particular beer, though?
It must be
I haven't
Northeastern.
seen this beer.
Well, we'll have to look it out.
Yeah.
So it's made with what?
Lunar
rocks.
meteorites. Yeah, moon rocks.
How is that possible that they're making beer with this?
Well, it's probably like a little tiny...
You know, it's funny that you ask that wonderfully great question, because the next headline starts, here's how it's possible.
How's
Well,
it possible?
how is it possible?
The meteorites procured from engineering firm ILC Dover, which makes spacesuits for the NASA, also known as NASA.
The NASA
Who
is...
says that?
Fuck you.
Who says that?
I was like, who the fuck is the NASA?
I was sitting here looking at blank faces. It is the NASA, but it's
Nobody says
NASA.
that.
Nobody says that.
I'm sitting here like a cliffhanger. Like, what is that?
It was great. I said it with a big smile on my face and just stared at three blank faces.
Nobody's laughing at that.
Hilarious, Cory.
The meteorites are crushed into dust and steeped like a tea in the brewery's Oktoberfest lager.
I want some now.
It's in the
Yeah.
Oktoberfest?
Well, it's called
No.
Celeste.
Jewel Ale, but it's
Ale.
their Oktoberfest batch.
So we're
Why
drinking
didn't they just
the
call
moon.
it Celestial Ale? Ugh.
We're drinking Stardust.
No, we're drinking Keystone Light.
We will be drinking Stardust.
We are Stardust.
You may be Stardust.
No.
You and
everything
little
else.
thing and every planet and everything. It's
Everything.
all made out of stardust. That stars make everything. It's true.
But it sounds so much cooler when we say we're drinking it in a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's moon dust.
According to Dogfish website, the meteorites impart a unique flavor.
Moon flavor?
Dirt?
It tastes like sulfur and whatever else astronauts said space smelled like.
The certified moon jewels are made up primarily of minerals and salts, helping the yeast-induced fermentation process and lending this traditional German style a subtle but complex earthiness. Did I not just say dirt?
Yeah.
Earthiness, dirt.
Well, it wouldn't be earthiness, though. It'd be mooniness.
What? You're genius.
I know.
Next line. Or is it mooniness?
Oh, good.
Question mark.
It's like I read this before, but I didn't. Promise. Didn't happen.
Unfortunately for us, the stuff is only available on tap at the Dogfish Head Brew Pub in Rehoboth Beach.
Oh, I see. So they did not get a whole lot of moon rocks to make this dust with.
So, who's up for a road trip?
Where is it?
Rehoboth Beach, which is Delaware.
Delaware, huh?
Not too far. It's only 9 hours.
Oh, man, I'm not George Washington. I can't be making that.
We also don't have horses.
Delaware.
So
It's like
we're all
9
going to
hours.
ride in the same vehicle for 8 hours
9
to drink
hours.
a
to
sip
Delaware.
of moon dust.
Yep.
I might be down for that.
It might
That would
taste
be
like
horrible.
We'll make 2 episodes of AirWreckRadio in that time. We'll have to buy a Ford Transit van.
Oh, that would be fun.
Convert it.
That would be fun. Hey, boss.
Convert it into what?
Mobile
AirWreck
studio.
Radio
Oh, okay.
I could convert it into something we could pass off as a limousine so that we could have liquor in it.
Whoever's driving has to wear the cap. That's the.
Oh, no, I'm the driver. You see, I got this hat on. I'm obviously the driver.
Clearly, I'm in the one control of the vehicle, sir, and clearly I haven't drank anything in at least 7 or 8 minutes.
That'd be a great show. We could finally interview a cop.
That would be fun, though. AirWreck Radio on the road.
Yeah.
That might actually be half a fun idea.
Yeah, well, let me know when you've got the money for a transit van.
No, we don't have to go through all that.
A sitter, 'cause this one's
We could buy
going
a
with
bus. Those are cheap.
We don't have to go. Good job with that, by the way.
You like that?
Yeah, that's fun. We don't have to buy a transit van. I got a van we can use that'll do just fine.
Man, I'm not getting kidnapped.
That is a creeper van, 100% creeper van. I slept in that creeper van. It's not that bad.
So have a million other girls. Most of them were really young.
You were by far the oldest.
Ouch. I was probably by far the skinniest. Also.
I had a little girl joke there. She won the fat joke. I think we were on different levels. This has been just arousing and titillating.
Arousing, or it has been a single rousing?
You know what? I'm gonna let you make the call. That's a
Okay.
judgment on your end. That's kind of what you heard. Whatever you heard is what I said.
Okay.
Some people heard arousing, and some people heard rousing.
One rousing time.
So whoever it is, what you heard.
That's the sound of an empty beer.
Exactly. That's the sound of break time here in the AirWreck Radio Studios. Thank you for joining us. Please remember to do us a favor and slide down to rockpodcast.com and show them the love and subscribe to the feeds.
Don't forget also to vote for us at the Rochester newspaper thing.
Oh, how dare I forget.
Yeah, don't forget that.
RochesterCityNews.com.
Please vote for us for Best Podcast.
Best Podcast, Rochester 2013. Do you know what page we're on now? Page
76.
3.
We're
We're still on line 76?
Yeah,
all
I
right.
think so. Also, while you're there, vote for Vinny Paolino for
Yes, best stand-up.
comic. Yeah, best stand-up comedian. Because, why the hell not? You got to vote for more than one thing anyway.
Yeah, and vote for ROCPodcasts.com for best website. Best
Yeah,
website.
right. Best website. Yeah, vote for that.
best
for that.
website. Absolutely best website in town. Because, technically, Vin, my brother, ROCPodcast.com isn't itself a podcast.
Well, I gotta come to his defense because I experienced this argument in myself, and I do have to come to his defense since he's not here to do it himself.
Okay.
Technically, if you use the Stitcher app, which I recommend everybody use, ROC Podcast is a podcast, and every day they play a different podcast from their podcast mix.
Is that how Stitcher works with?
That's how Stitcher works with ROC Podcast. So technically, it is a podcast.
You might have, maybe. I don't know.
It's like the most producing podcast because every day there's at least one new episode.
Yeah, plus they just signed this week a daily show, a music show that's daily.
Man,
Yeah.
they need to get their app ready. They got to get their app in gear.
Yeah, buddy. Now they got a daily music show for, it's all underground shit, but it's coast to coast. It's not just local stuff.
So check out Stitcher. Check out Rock Podcasters. Check out, most importantly,
ROCPodcast.com.
AirWreck Radio. Check out AirWreck Radio.
Most importantly, follow us on Twitter. God damn it, I still only have like 36 followers. Follow us.
Or don't. Whatever. Listen to us. Listen to us when we come back for headline news. This week in the headlines, it's Obamacare, government shutdown, the debt ceiling, and UFOs, I believe was.
I want to talk about a shitty UFO video.
Cory has a shitty UFO video, which is going to make great radio.
This is what
we promise.
This is what I bring to the table.
So damn hard to get away from it all, but I'll try it. Feel like I'm crumbling up and down inside sometimes. Life like an hourglass that's running low on sand. I feel the weight of every finger on my heavy hand, but I'm spinning all around now inside. hard, but I guess that's just the way it is, hey now. And if heaven wasn't here, I would feel like I'm alone. My heart is beating fast, I'm from a broken home, reflecting on the days before I was a kid. Now that life is getting harder, but I guess that's just the way it is. Oh, it's just the way it is, amen. It's just the way it is, the way it is, just the way it is.
If letting go is faith in the fire, would everybody be the victim of this wasted desire?
Wasted desire, I'm spinning all around now, inside of my mind. I'm just sitting, waiting, wishing that I could go back to the simple time. Reflecting on the days when we all were just little kids, all. But now life is getting harder, but I guess that's just the way it is, hey. And if heaven wasn't here, I would feel like I'm alone. My heart is beating fast, I'm from a broken home, reflecting on the days before I was a kid. Now that life is getting harder, but I guess that's just the way it is. Oh, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is, the way it is. It's just the way it is.
You are listening to AirWreckRadio.
Hello? Special delivery. Flowers? In the mail?
Email us at AirWreckRadio@gmail.com. Send us your address, I'll send you flowers. Or they could email AirWreckRadio at AirWreckRadio@gmail.com. If they did it with their address, I would send them flowers. If they didn't, I wouldn't.
Please email us at AirWreckRadio@gmail.com, because I really want to see this fool across from me have to mail some flowers.
I will mail you flowers.
They do lose closer, and the shadows they creep, and I know it's not right, but I'm falling asleep.
Welcome back to AirWreckRadio. It's time for Headline News.
Headline News.
Today in the headlines, we're going to be talking about Obamacare and the impending government shutdown. Now, for those of you listening to this recorded on Wednesday, on the release day that the show comes out, you're going to already know how this pans out. But we're going to try to explain it to you anyways.
It could last longer than Wednesday. We don't know.
The shutdown itself could last, will almost, if it happens, it will almost certainly last longer than Wednesday. But today is Monday. Midnight tonight is the deadline. So
Yeah, you
by
got about-
Wednesday,
10 p.m. is the deadline tonight, and we'll know by morning what happened. And
but
it
while
could
we're
last-
recording this show, we will not know the outcome of that.
So what does that
Very
mean
true.
for me right now?
It means that right now we're going to try to do the best we can to tell people what we found out about the government shutdown.
I'm dying. I am just dying to hear this list, sir.
But by Wednesday, it might not even matter because they might avert the crisis tonight, or
Crisis.
or the government might be shut down, and everybody will know how it affects them because all the other news organizations will tell them on Tuesday. Yesterday, if they're listening on Wednesday.
If you have a brain in your head, don't let the news tell you how things affect you.
Yeah, let us
So-
tell you. We find news sites to tell us how to tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah, but everything is news. Even if you get on Google and Google it, it's still somebody else's news. So I guess we're all just believing what we're reading.
Yes, but more importantly, believe what I'm reading.
Somebody
What
had
are
to
you
write it.
reading? What does it mean for us?
Well, let's here's the thing about the government shutdown. This is a funny thing. It's a weird thing that's going on right now. There's two major things going on here.
Oh, eh?
The first thing is Obamacare,
Yes.
and the second thing is the debt ceiling.
Yes.
Now that happens on October 17th, but today, October 1st is tomorrow,
Yes,
and
sir.
Obamacare is hitting the market. You'll be able to go online and get all signed up for Obamacare. Now, from here we can either go into Obamacare or go into the government shutdown.
Let's start with the government shutdown since that's the way you teased it. So what you're telling me is that we pay government officials, our elected representatives, what could be considered an exorbitant amount of money to what? What are they going to do now? Because they're still getting paid. They're still getting paid. Congress is still getting paid.
They're talking about a government shutdown.
Their salary, though, Congress. So they're still getting paid.
It's like this Nana Boo Boo protest move that House Republicans are doing.
So, sorry, go on.
They're doing this.
Okay, so House Republicans are
Well, they're working on doing it.
standing in the courtyard with their fingers in their ears,
Going
holding
la,
their
la, la,
breath,
la, 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 yeah.
screaming,
Uh-huh.
I don't want to, I don't want to.
Right. And Obamacare is one of the things that they've pledged not to budge on, and they're going to shut down the government. And I cannot, for the life of me, really grasp why anybody who's not a millionaire would be against Obamacare. I just don't get it. I see small business owners' problems with it.
Yeah, as a small business owner, I do have some issues.
With what?
Obamacare and the
It's going to cost
the amount it's going to cost me to try to offer insurance
Are we
to
getting
my
into
employees.
Obamacare? 'Cause I have a rebuttal to that. If
But we're not-
talking
we're-
about Obamacare.
We're not quite into Obamacare, but if you want to give a quick point.
It's actually giving small businesses the right to forego giving health insurance now to their employees with a very small fee.
But
Smaller
that's-
than the fee that a person that wouldn't want to get health care will pay.
However, it is more than I was paying before.
You don't have to get health care.
I'm all right with that.
No, but I got to pay a penalty for it.
I see why you're not all right with
What
that.
are we paying a penalty for exactly?
Obamacare
Okay,
from a small business point of view.
Small business owners, not you. But we're getting off topic because we wanted to talk about the Republican obstructionism and shutting down the government. What does shutting down the government going to affect? Because I know the military, the Navy's still going to be flying. They might not get there. The Navy's going to be sailing. The Air Force will still be flying. Army's going to be marching. They might not get their checks, but I know soldiers and Navy men are going to do what they do.
Soldiers and Navy men and Air Force pilots, the military will be paid in IOUs. This past January, Senators Mark Udall, Democrat from Colorado, and Jerry Moran, Republican from Kansas, introduced legislation that would have protected the pay for the troops during any shutdown, but that legislation failed to produce any results. So soldiers will be getting paid in IOUs.
So who won't be getting paid? Would be, I guess, the biggest question. I hear that the White House staff will be cut down from 90 to 15, but that's all I really read.
That's paper-pushing staffers. A lot of Washington is going to suffer. Washington, D.C. is going to suffer badly because the Washington, D.C. city budget is dependent on the Washington, D.C. federal budget. So they won't be able to pass their city budget. And that's going to stop them from getting things as simple as garbage pickup.
Economically, it's going to be disastrous, too, because those 90 staff members were up-and-comers. They're
90.
young. They're young people. The 90% or whatever it is.
90 staffers in the White House.
Yeah.
75 of whom will be unpaid based on the math of 15 left and 90 to go with.
So most of them are going to be getting
75 will go unpaid. Now, 75 sounds like a lot, right?
Uh-huh.
How about the Department of Defense has a workforce of 800,000 civilians, and that workforce will be cut in half. 400,000 civilians in the Department of Defense.
Well, you say cut in half, but they're not going to get fired. They're going to get furloughed for a couple days.
It might be for a few weeks.
But it's going to be just
that is still a huge economic impact. Even if it's only a day. Even if it's only one day, that is one day that just 400,000 defense workers don't get paid. Now, how about if it goes a couple of weeks and national parks, zoos, and museums are all closed?
Yeah.
That's 368 national parks closed around the country.
And you're right.
Doesn't that break your heart?
It's going to dive.
Not really,
going to
no.
dive. Less people getting paid a lot of money. The economy's going to die.
It's going to be. It'll be a little rough on the economy, especially if it's any kind of lasting thing that goes on.
When does the mail get cut off?
The mail will not get cut off.
Ever?
It's a separate fund. They
Doesn't
don't
the
even
government fund them?
They're barely a government agency at this point.
They can't touch it as much as they can't touch food stamps.
No, but I know lately, wasn't there a big thing about the mail?
The post office is so protected by the union contracts, they're barely a federal agency
Weren't
at
they
this
just
point.
going to go bankrupt or something?
No, that's completely ridiculous. What the mail thing?
Okay.
The talk about the mail going bankrupt is absurd. The mail is required to pay the retirements for 75 years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely handicapping now, but it's a very longevous approach on things. But it makes them look like they're losing money, but they're not losing money. They're just required to pay future pensions, so the money is there when the future gets here.
But that was the talk of the post office.
It was, that was the talk, but it was completely misinformed talk. It was absolutely
the numbers are skewed.
Talking heads trying to show you a mirror.
Right.
I still stand behind.
I
still stand behind the fact that they are not the model of efficiency that the department and it should be, and I still stand behind the fact that they're being crippled by the unions and the ridiculous demands on that office. But the post office will still be running whether the government shuts down or not, because the unions are there to protect them. And I'm sure there's other agencies that are going to be protected by the unions that'll still get paid whether the government shut down or not.
Social Security will still be paid.
Yeah, well, yeah.
However, veterans benefits, not so much. Perhaps. Want to buy a gun? Good luck with that, because that gun permit you wanted to process, there's not going to be anybody working to do that. Want to get a passport? Yeah,
no.
Sorry for you. You're not getting out of the country right now.
See, none of these
there's
things
nobody
affect me,
doing
really.
background checks. If the government gets shut down, there's no one to do background checks. That's the gun thing and the passport thing.
That's part of it. There will still be. Don't kid yourself. The NSA will still be at work checking backgrounds. They will absolutely continue to be funded.
Yeah. CS, the FBI, and the CIA are not going anywhere.
Mm-mm. Air traffic controllers, hazardous waste handlers, and food inspectors will continue with business as usual. It's such a mess this idea of shutting down the government.
You're not really shutting down the government.
No, you're shutting down enough of it. You're making a foot-stomping, grinding, embarrassing move to the entire world that our elected officials can't get their shit together and just start. You're not there to put your fucking head in the ground, assholes. You're there to work with each other.
A stupid person or an ill-informed terrorist might find this a convenient time to try to stage some kind of shenanigans, thinking that the government, at least, even like I said, with the Air Force still flying and the Navy still sailing,
certainly you may begin to see some lackadaisical breakdown.
You might see a little bit of a delay in reaction time.
People are laughing this off a lot that this isn't going to last, but in the 1995,
it's not going to last.
In the 1995 shutdown, 11% of the Department of Education employees showed up to work. That is a big deal.
That's not enough. Although, I hate the Department of Education and would rather see it resulted to county municipalities.
11% showed up to work. That isn't enough?
I'm not saying it's... I'm saying it's not. That's not enough.
0 or 100.
It's not enough employees to do the job properly of whatever they're doing in the Department of Education.
You're right. What I'm saying is people are laughing this off, but in 1995, shit got serious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
shit got serious.
Yeah, it lasted into 96.
Our government has kind of come into this situation these days where, like, we govern by crisis. Is something I heard somebody else say, and I really thought that was really true. Like, we drum up these big crises, these big fiscal policy disasters, and then we have to govern by a deadline. And it's, why can't we govern with foresight? Why can't we be a little more ahead of the curve? Now, the worst part about this is that this is only over Obamacare that goes into... I was
going to say, do you want to know why it's going on right now? It's money. Oh, no, it's Obamacare. The big deal right now is
Obamacare.
Everybody is fighting about everyone.
It's about funding Obamacare, though. It is about funding Obamacare.
It's not all about funding.
I think
the Republicans have very strong views on this. Like, I actually read up on this today, and I don't know anything about anything when it comes to, like, politics, but if you read up on it, this whole thing is, if Obamacare wasn't involved, this would have been settled already. That's
Obamacare has been in effect for 5 years.
I think that's true, though.
I don't think that it would have been settled already. I think it would be over something else. I legitimately think that if it wasn't for Obamacare, they would find something else to stand on and be like, this is absolutely, this is where we're planting our flag.
Let's not point out that this is not, let's not forget the fact that this is not the medical reform plan that he proposed in the first place.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Let's point out the fact that he did not brand this goddamn thing Obamacare. The Republicans did. And had it been single pay health care, which was Romney care, this thing would have worked fine. But the Republicans already wanted to throw their little fits and jump up and down, and they've been doing that for the last year and a half. And now that they've thrown their fits to the point where they've made this plan a mutation of what it was before, now there's the even bigger problem. So what exactly does you obstructionist pricks want to happen? Can you answer me that? Can somebody at this table tell me what they want to happen other than no?
They don't want progress to happen.
Other than no.
Yeah.
Progress is happening and they're trying to stop it.
The only thing they seem to really be clear on is that they don't want Obama to get a victory at all. And you can feel how you like about President Obama, but he is our president, and stopping the country over it is not good policy. It's just not.
Nobody can get anything done.
America is the largest economy in the world and a beacon for how democracy ought to work. Our values are what, like our
core values,
our core values are what democracy is about.
Yes.
And we get to watch elected lawmakers engage in a high-stakes staring contest with no one willing to blink. It's no way to do business. Recently, CNN Opinion Search Corp ran a poll, and that poll found that 51% of Americans will blame Republicans if the government closes its doors. Now, 51% is an absurd number to me because we make presidential decisions based on 51%, and I can't imagine how it's still that goddamn close. How is it not 66% at least?
Back to the 2/3 thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it possible that there is like a missing quarter of the population that's so fucking stupid that they don't see what's going on right in front of their eyes?
It's not. I don't believe that. I think it's this. There's a trend to not care.
You know, I'm
You know,
gonna.
It's hard to care.
People think it's hip to be like, man, I don't pay attention to no politics. I'm
You're
gonna
right.
listen to my shitty vinyl
No,
record.
you are right.
It is a popular view. You're right.
No, like even for me, like I don't vote. I've like today caught my. I don't know why today caught my attention with the whole government shutdown. I guess just the sound of it freaked me out. But I don't vote. I don't know anything about politics. I don't have like the I don't care attitude. I have the I don't feel like even my vote would matter attitude. Because how do I know there's not somebody controlling it?
You don't know, but you have to trust that there's not. But you
Why
have
do
to
I
understand.
have to trust?
But more than having to
don't.
trust that there's not, you have to realize there is. And if you realize there is, then you can do your best to do something about it and be informed. But it's hard to be informed. It's depressing. It's what happens when you become informed
But
is you become pissed off.
No, really?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
You though. Who's informing you?
I do. Who's informing anybody? If I tell
That's what
you,
I'm saying.
You do
You
a
know
fair
what I
amount
do?
of research.
I Google everything.
if I tell you how to get to the gas station, you have to trust that I'm telling you how to get to the gas
But I
station.
live with you and your
But-
family. It's
But
different.
but if you ask a stranger, if you're on the road and you
Called
ask a
an
stranger,
analogy.
excuse me, stranger, how do I get to the gas station? You have to trust that that stranger is going to tell you how to get to the gas station, and you do that because in us is the ability to tell the difference. You get maybe if you don't trust the first guy,
I'm saying,
you
how
listen.
many of us trust a
Listen.
stranger to get directions from nowadays? Who do we trust? What we read.
It's an analogy. It's not.
I know
It's
it's an
not a literal
Literal
argument. Yeah, it's if you don't trust the first stranger, you ask a second stranger, and you ask maybe a third, and then you make a consensus based on the three people you asked, and decide where is the gas station. At some point, you have to trust. It's not a choice. You have to do it. If you don't trust anybody ever,
Because you're saying you're not going to vote because just in case somebody's rigging it.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I guess.
Why would you vote and then at least you have a 50-50 chance of your voice saying something?
Yeah, it might be
And
rigged,
meaning
but it
something.
might not be rigged.
right?
So
I'm saying the
better
proof,
than being neutral on
the
it.
proof that it's
Have that
rigged
chance
is
to
as
do
good
it.
as the proof that it's not rigged.
I have a tendency to beat the anti. What's the word I'm looking for? Anti-conformist drum when it comes to our wonderful, pleasing governmental ruling body. But you
They're
got to
not
vote.
rulers; they are representatives.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, ruling body. But you got to vote. We do have that right. But you know, it might even be bullshit. It might just be a great big farce to give you the illusion of freedom. But guess what? It might not be.
I'll
So
tell
you
you
got to
what.
do it anyways.
I'll make you a deal. I don't care. I don't care what you think about voting. If you think it's bullshit, that's fine. Do it for me. Do it for the people that vote that would ask you to vote. And if you don't have an opinion about it, ask their opinion. Then you can trust that at least the people you can trust have done the research that maybe you think it doesn't matter anyway, but they think it matters.
And then you have a 50-50 shot of helping
Yeah, no,
them
I
out,
wasn't
too.
saying like doing the research didn't matter. I guess I've just.
Yeah, but where do you find your research that's not, the internet? So obviously it could be bullshit. It could all be malarkey.
Yeah,
Hey, man.
I mean, where does anybody find information that's not internet anymore?
For all we know, there's no Syria and the world is flat. I've never seen the globe myself with my own eyes, but I trust
Because I've never been to outer space.
that the world is round because it was presented to me in a reasonable way that I found perfectly legitimate and able to believe.
Plus, now we understand the curvature of the horizon.
Well, we think we do. Somebody told us we do. I guess you have to trust that.
Yeah, I guess you get a point there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't do the math myself. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what time of history you're talking. If it's the digital age to the analog age. In fact, in the digital age, you're better off than in the analog age, because unless you witnessed it yourself, somebody told you something you had to believe. And even if you witness it yourself, you might have told you something you had to believe.
We're terrible observers.
Horrible. But guess who writes everything down?
People.
Yeah. So, like, you go back through history, they're all one-sided views, because to the victor go the spoils. The winner writes the history. That's why you go back through it. You go through American history books, and man, is that a flag-waving, patriotic time, baby.
Not a lot of British writers writing American history in America immediately after the Civil War.
Exactly. So no matter how far back you go with your research,
the Revolutionary War. I didn't want to sound like an idiot.
Yeah,
that way.
Fair enough. So no matter how far back you go in your research, you got to believe that some guy saw with his eyes or his ears or his senses of some sort, and then tried to convey in the most honest way possible what happened. So even at the fundamental thing, unless you were the witness, you have to believe, and even if you were the witness, you have to just kind of believe.
Moving right along. Government shutdown as of Monday recording night seems imminent, and we expect to see closings in national parks, museums, and zoos. 400,000 U.S. Defense Department employees. Military members will be paid in IOUs, so that's fun.
Who doesn't love a good IOU?
Basically, government shutdown looks like shit for Americans and for the world looking at America. Now, to move along from that, let's talk about Obamacare. Because I like Obamacare.
Well, I mean, it's a good segue because Obamacare is causing this fucking shutdown.
Which is like the supreme irony of this, because whether or not this government shutdown happens, Obamacare will plug right along because it does not require funds from this particular budget. So what do we want to know about Obamacare?
Well, Stace, I make less than $30,000. I am a single parent of 2. How does Obamacare affect me?
Sir, I would like to inform you that you personally may have struck the Obamacare jackpot.
Gold, baby!
You recently quit smoking.
Yeah, sure did.
You could be looking at a payment of well under $100 a month.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, talking like 50.
Well, what's the definition? It's
for somebody at a low
$7.99 is well under 100. What's
$7.99 is
like a
$7.99.
Yeah, no, it's not that low.
No.
I would have said under 10. Honestly, I think you had saucer eyes for a minute there, sir.
I haven't heard of this. Is the tax thing? He gets a tax rebuttal or something?
No,
no, because I quit smoking and it reduced the
I didn't hear
cost.
I went to healthcare.gov,
okay,
which is where you want to go if you want to find out
healthcare.gov
specifically how Obamacare may affect you. Now, they're going to give you estimates, and nobody's really going to know until the markets open tomorrow, the markets being the places where you go and shop, but you get there through the healthcare.gov website.
Which is the marketplace.
It's the
or
gateway.
Exchange,
it will get you there. You can go.
They're selling the exchange.
You can go directly to various exchange sites, I think, but if you go to healthcare.gov, there you will find links to the exchanges.
Marketplace or exchange.
The marketplace.
Right.
They call them. I think they call them exchanges. That's what they are. They're healthcare exchanges. That's what they call them. That's what they are. There you'll be able to shop insurance options based on your income, your needs, and your family. You know, like the things that you should shop for healthcare.
Even if you already have insurance.
And yes, even if you already have insurance through your employer. If you live below the poverty line with 2 kids, so if you make less than $12,000 a year, you're looking at $51 a month for healthcare, which is terrific compared to what it was. It's not great if you are only making $1,000 a month. I'm sorry, $1,200 a month. $51 is still a pretty considerable number, but it's better than the $350 you were just paying. Now, if you smoke, you're going to be paying $250.
What if I smoke and make less than the poverty level?
You
Quit
would be on
smoking.
Medicaid already.
Quit smoking. It's
So it
so
doesn't matter, though.
Medicaid won't be affected by
Yeah,
that.
if I'm on Medicaid, then it doesn't matter.
no.
It doesn't.
Medicaid will not be affected.
can
People
stay with
on
your
Medicaid
Medicaid.
will still have
Yeah,
Medicaid.
In fact, more people, 15 million more people in 2014 will be eligible
On
for
Medicaid, right.
They are
If you make
expanding
less than the
Medicaid.
poverty level, you're going to be on Medicaid anyway.
Well, they're expanding the Medicaid too. More people are going to be eligible.
It should be expanded. I feel it should.
Corey, you sounded like you wanted to say something.
Sorry.
Oh, there's just so much.
I would like to say that if Medicaid were to ever be expanded, it would have to be expanded to everybody, because that's what universal health care is. But short of that, I don't know about much expansion myself.
Well, they
Why
did
should
with
Medicaid-
Obamacare and starting.
Well, why would we give a fuck about the poor? Fuck the poor.
Well, why
I'm
would
not
Medicaid
saying
be
the poor.
expanded to
That's what
everybody?
Jesus said,
You
wasn't
know what,
it?
though? Yeah, Jesus was like,
Did
fuck
Jesus
the poor.
say fuck the poor?
He cometh unto me and
It's
saith,
a-
so saith he, fuck the
The
poor.
poor. Yeah. I thought that was his whole gig. Like,
You know
gay
what?
rich.
You're right. I take that back, because I think the poverty level is insultingly low.
Yes.
So
We aren't even
perhaps
talking about the poor.
I
With this
was.
we're
Medicaid
talking about
expansion,
Medicaid.
Yeah, I was.
Medicaid is expanding to middle class. 15
Low
million more
middle
people
class.
are going to be eligible for Medicaid.
But what
means
his
middle
point
class.
is that $12,000 shouldn't be poverty. $32,000 should be the fucking poverty line.
I'm going to go somewhere in the middle of that and say $28,000 with 2 kids
All right, I like that.
is poverty line.
Yeah, that's agreeable.
Because
Yeah,
you
for
can
sure.
you can afford rent at that pay. You're not affording much for rent at that pay, but you can afford rent at that pay.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're eligible for Medicaid at that point. $28,000, 2 kids, 1 income, that's Medicaid.
You'd have to look it up, honestly. When I went to get medical insurance and I was dancing and claiming not a lot, but a decent amount, like, you're still paying.
I was making 32 and had Medicaid.
So, you did a bunch of research, Tammy, about Obamacare. Could
There
you
is some simple
enlighten
things.
us?
There are some simple things to know with Obamacare. They are raising the standards of healthcare with Obamacare. Every healthcare plan has to have dental for children now
I
for free.
love that. I think that healthcare should include eye care, and it should include dental care,
Hell
because
yeah, it's medical.
And now, if you are under any healthcare plan right now through your employer, Medicaid, it will cover dental
It should.
checkups every year for your children. And
It
that's a
should.
big step.
Yeah. Dental is actually a big part of your health.
You
People
can-
don't realize that.
but this is only for children. This is not
This is
for
only
adults.
for children. It is a good step. It is only for children.
I'll tell you, this is important, but it should be for everybody. This is probably something that got bargained away while they were trying to get something they thought the Republicans might go for. If you want to live a long and healthy life, take care of your teeth. Your gums are an exposed, soft tissue. So much shit can get through them to you and make you dead when you are old. You want to live long? Take care of your teeth.
Your healthcare plan will also now cover all of your yearly checkups. It does not matter what health insurance you're on right now. If it's through your employer, if it's Medicaid, if it is some third-party insurer, you will have free mammograms, 1 free checkup with your primary care physician every year with no
I don't
cost
think-
to you.
I don't think that I need free mammograms, ma'am.
You
or
only
Graham.
need 1 a year, and
I do not.
you do need a primary care physician checkup, and you will never have to pay for that again. Thank you, Obamacare.
When they do a mammogram, are they checking your mams?
I don't know. I don't have to find out till I'm 30,
Oh.
and I appreciate that.
Okay. What are mams though? Like, is that a boob thing? Or?
I don't want to know until
Mammary
I'm 30.
gland.
It
means
hurts.
smushing
Oh, it's your
your
mams.
boob.
I heard it hurts
Mammary
a lot.
gland.
Yo, that chick's got some fine mams.
Yeah, those memes.
Check out the mams on that one.
She got fucking huge memes.
You
So
can now, yeah. You
that
can also,
kills me right there. That kills me
you can
right
now
there.
stay on your parents' plan until you're 26, no extra charge. Because you know why? Because young people don't get health insurance, and now they're going to.
It's not just that you can stay on your parents' plan. Basically, if you're under 26 and apply for it, like, you have to be added to your parents' plan.
No.
Yes, it means, I don't know, right
You
now
can
it's
be
25. Right now it's 25.
You can get your own insurance, but
you can get your own insurance. But if I were, like, a young
Nikki's right about
25-year-old and said, my dad is still responsible for my medical bills, guess what? His dad is, yes. His dad is still responsible for his medical bills.
Not in Obamacare. Previous to Obamacare.
No, right now.
Yeah,
right now.
Right
Not
now.
Obamacare
Nikki,
right
hold
now.
on. Tammy, Nikki's absolutely 100%
right
correct
now,
because
yeah.
I did this 4 years ago.
you can now optionally stay onto your parents' plan until you're 26.
That's-
if you're already enrolled before 24,
That's
who's
with
only?
Obamacare.
Right, which is
we're
what
talking
about.
pre-Obamacare, me and Nikki.
No, I'm talking about what's going to happen. in
Right, but the
2014.
rest of us are trying to learn about what Obamacare is going to do for you. So now we know that before Obamacare, you could stay. You could say, and he'd be like, you could say, oh, my dad's got my medical expenses, and he would be saddled with them.
No
and
longer.
now, under Obamacare, the situation would be
You can only stay on your parents' plan until you're 26 if you've already been enrolled on your parents' plan before 2014. You can't.
you can't jump on
You
it.
cannot jump on it now.
Okay.
If you had been on there and you were about to be 26 or you're 21 or 22, you can now stay on there until you're 26. There is no cutoff until you're 26, but you cannot burden your parents with your medical bills. That isn't going to happen.
So according to Obamacare, if you were already on your parents' plan, you can now stay on the plan for another
Until
year.
you're 26. It was 23 before.
But we're saying Obamacare added another year to that.
3.
Still doesn't sound like single-payer health care to me. I'm sorry.
It's not single payer.
Oh, it's not?
No,
It's
but
totally
what we're
optional.
talking about is what it is.
No,
not what
I'm
it's not.
sorry.
I think we're trying to avoid talking about what it's not so much and just giving people an idea about what it is. Because
that
we all
one's
know what it's
confusing.
not. What it's not is something that's going to make everybody happy. So I think
That's
picking
a small
apart the
point.
what it's nots is detracting from the opportunity we have to inform people the what it is.
And I do just
What
have
it is.
I have 2 more points, and then I'll be done, and I'll make them short. If your employer has crap insurance, you can now go to the marketplace and you can shop. I've been told, personally, from my Excellus representative, of course, that the marketplace is shaky right now, and be leery to sign up to marketplace plans.
So your insurance company is trying to spook you out of getting on the Obamacare bandwagon. So
that does sound mighty convenient,
here's
sir.
an example of somebody who's
there's facts
disgustingly wealthy telling you should be afraid of this affordable thing because I am not going to do well with this.
Listen. That ethanol thing that the cars run on,
Yeah.
it's no fucking good. Don't look at the oil pumps I own.
True story.
Just look at me. I'm telling you, that ethanol thing, no fucking good.
I can actually argue against ethanol, but I'm not going to do
No,
so.
so can I.
I agree.
So can I, but I'm trying to illustrate the point.
I
that
agree with your point.
Most of the people that advertise against
Right.
ethanol
Are like
had interest in oil.
Yeah, it's like the clean coal people. Oh yeah, it's it's cleaner than it used to be. We're only burning it in soap.
Speaking of clean, fun fact, real quick.
Oh God,
I just want to throw it.
All right,
in.
let's
I'm
go.
sorry.
Fire.
Biodiesel has been created for years and years and years. Biogasoline has been very elusive.
Biodiesel is what's made out of used waste oil, like even cooking oil at restaurants.
Biogasoline has been discovered and created by a team in Korea. What it is
Which Korea?
I don't know.
I hope it's North Korea.
They
I hear
literally
North
just said
Korea is
Korea.
best Korea.
Korea.
Said fearless leader.
Yeah, fearless leader said that.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
So what were we talking about?
They created an E. coli strand that's byproduct is the same alkaline makeup as gasoline. So they use the E. coli poop to make gasoline.
I think I might have
Are we
heard
talking about
something about
ethanol?
that. No, we're talking about biogasoline.
We've all passed
Oh.
ethanol for a moment because I had a fun fact that's
All right.
kind of related.
Meanwhile,
Fun fact,
in
fun fact.
healthcare
I have
land,
like 2 more
Yeah.
points. Just let me make my 2 more points. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, guys.
Go on.
I promise I'll banter with you in just a minute. I'm dying to get this out. 1 more thing. 2 more things. I have 2 more things.
Okay, I already said if your employer has crap insurance, you can go to the marketplace and you can shop. It's no longer before it was, you can't go shop for more insurance if you already are offered. That's no longer the case. If you have insurance through your employer, you can go to healthcare.gov and you can get an estimate. And if you want to switch, you don't have to be with your employer anymore, even if you're not eligible for Medicaid. That's a huge jump.
That is a big deal.
If you get fatally sick, it is now illegal to drop you, and that is a huge deal.
That is a huge deal. That is a huge deal.
They can never again drop you for being sick ever.
And pre-existing
also no pre-existing condition discrimination.
Big deal.
Those can't stop you for being sick. Sick people should have insurance. That's what insurance is.
If you were born with it, I think we should throw you a bone.
If you got cancer, some big health insurance companies would drop you immediately. They can no longer do that. So thank you, Obamacare, for that.
Here's the thing. The thing about healthcare, this is the thing that I believe about healthcare. We privatized healthcare, and look what it's done. Privatized healthcare has made the healthcare industry disgustingly rich. It has made hospital bills disgustingly high for no reason. These prices are arbitrary. Yes, they're arbitrary.
I've been screaming from the hills for years.
Privatized healthcare has done nothing but destroy what healthcare should be. It's all about lawyers and dollars. Fuck that. It's not the private citizens' healthcare. It's the people's healthcare.
I agree with that.
Give it to the people. God damn it. If the poorest people can have it, why not just everybody? Why aren't we just, as citizens, entitled to healthcare? Because this country has the capacity to have the very best healthcare the whole world will ever see. But instead of giving it to our people, we sit on it for our rich.
No, we sell it.
Yeah, we sell it.
It was funny. The range you just mentioned really rung a bell with me because you said the poorest people can get it for free. So why can't everybody? The completion of that is the poorest people can get it for free, and the richest people can already just afford it. What about the 99.6 at this point? People in the middle. Who aren't poor but still can't who don't qualify for free.
And there's a myth out there right now.
But can't afford it.
There's a huge myth out there right now that if you don't get health insurance in 2014, you're going to pay your ass out of fines. That is not true.
That's a good point.
I want to talk. This is not true. If you opt out of health insurance in 2014 until 2022, it is guaranteed you will pay only 1% of your income. Is that affordable? I think it is.
That kind of sounds like a fine, though.
It is. It's a very small fine.
But by definition, a fine.
It is against the myths that have been said.
That's $1 per $100.
That is not
I'm not saying that it's ridiculous.
You know
I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying. I'm not arguing with you. I'm putting it in perspective.
But does it mean if I go to the emergency room and I don't have insurance, they can deny me?
No, you have to pay though.
No, they never could and they never will.
Yeah, you would just be presented with a bill.
I don't know. I read this story the other day. A guy has cancer. He's like 88 years old. And he went to get a B12 shot, and they denied him.
They cannot deny you emergency life-saving services.
Yeah,
with his cancer, he can rot away till the very minute before he dies, and then they'll try to save his life.
As soon as he crashes, the crash car comes in, and they're going to try to bring him back to continue to not medicate him.
Right, so if I get in a car accident, I'm good. But what if I go in for like bronchitis I've had for 3 months, but I don't have insurance?
They will
probably also still good.
They will absolutely treat you. It's not a terminal disease. If I went in with a rotten tooth, they would treat me because it's not a terminal disease.
And then they would bill you.
And then they bill the shit out of you.
Dental right now.
Yeah, they can.
I've been denied
not anymore
dental.
though.
I don't know about anywhere else, but
not
New York
as
State,
of listening day.
And as of New York State, up until now, emergency room cannot deny you service. As long as, like, if I went in there with rotten tooth, they cannot deny me service if I'm in pain.
Oh, okay.
I have a fun fact to close.
Fun fact
to wrap things up with. I said that right now the poor people are the ones entitled to health care. Why not everybody? And you had mentioned that represents a huge swath of the population. Well, I actually happen to have a number that I've been sitting on because I knew it was going to come in handy someday.
Beautiful.
And it's not about healthcare; it's about food stamps. But I think that we can all at this table agree that if you're getting food stamps, you probably qualify for Medicaid.
It elaborates out pretty well.
Yeah.
47 million people in America are currently on food stamps.
Okay.
Okay. 47 million?
Currently.
Whoa. 47 million?
Yeah.
Okay. Is
Hold
that
on.
family included
Hold
or just
on.
the person getting them?
Hold on. 47 million people are currently enrolled in the food stamp program.
Yes.
There are 301 million Americans. What that results in is roughly one sixth.
Over 6.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That sounds accurate.
That's
to me.
a lot of
That's a
people.
huge number of fucking people.
That is a lot of people. And that's food stamps, but it's safe to bet that if you're on food stamps, you're probably going to qualify for Medicare too.
Except now more Medicaid employees are going to be...
Medicaid, you're right.
More people are going to be eligible for Medicaid now than food stamps. They've added 15 million people.
And they've cut food stamp funding.
You know what? But even like me, I get my share, but I don't get Medicaid. They don't give me Medicaid, like straight Medicaid. I don't get Medicaid. You don't get health insurance? I get health insurance, but I pay for it. I pay $12 a month for it. I don't qualify for Medicaid.
That's a terrific premium.
You might
Boy,
know.
I would kill for $12 a month premium. Oh my god. So that, my friends, has been an education for all of us.
And a great headline news.
On the woes and wees of healthcare and a government shutdown.
So go ahead.
I wanted to add what Obamacare meant for our household because it's interesting.
Oh, I would like to know without any kind of specific numbers, please.
What will change for us? Nothing, except our health insurance is going up 1/3. We're not eligible for the marketplace. We make too much money.
Oh.
Just to end that segment.
Why don't you blow me?
I suddenly like Obamacare a lot less.
No, but you know what?
Folks, you know what?
Our health insurance will now have to cover dental for our kids.
So
it did give us something.
So, in summary, on the Obamacare thing, real quick, the biggest advocates at this table for Obamacare are the two people who stand to gain the least from it.
Correction. I think it's time we shut this motherfucking government down. Sometimes you gotta lay your body on gears and stop the machine, man.
Government shutdown.
That's
AirWreck
kind
Radio
of the
was
position I had about the government shutdown, but I was kind of afraid to bring it into the Lion's Den here because everybody was kind of passionate about it, and I just fucking shut it down. Let's see what happens. And then we know what we need to fix, because if it shuts down and something's broken, we need to figure out how to fix that, because the federal government is already way too powerful, and if you could show me a way to streamline it a little bit, I wouldn't be too upset.
That's a very good point, is that perhaps it's time maybe to trim the fat a little bit, but I just hate to see the Republicans be the ones pushing it through, because they're not doing it for good reasons.
No,
But,
they're mean
you know,
people.
But sometimes good reasons
You're not
happen by
Republican?
circumstance.
I am a Republican.
Stacey is a Republican.
I am. I'm a registered Republican, and I dream of the day.
Funny story. That's what I thought.
Stacey
I'm
is
like, wait,
what-
I had a Republican guy walk over here. It was like, a Stacey home? I'm like, mm-hmm.
Stacey is Republican, what Republicans should be. He's not what people who call themselves Republican are.
I dream for a day where I can vote for a Republican and know that undoubtedly he will be able to sit down across the table from a Democrat and still get something done. I live for that day because, like, I gotta tell you, man, I'm not the Republican that's all about this fucking no gay marriage and micromanaging people's lives.
I'm
Fuck,
telling
that's
you, dude,
horseshit,
that's
man.
libertarian, man.
That's
libertarian.
I'm sure it is, but you know what? I'm not going to say the thing that I was about to say about how voting libertarian is a wasted vote, because I'm starting to think that it's not, and it would only expose my hypocrisy.
Yeah, get out and vote, but don't waste your vote.
Don't waste your vote. Vote on one of the big two.
Yeah, that aren't ever getting anything done ever.
And friends, the big two are able to be voted for at the Rochester City newspaper website, and the big two
Line 76
are for best podcast, and the big two are AirWreckRadio and AirWreckRadio.
Woo again!
And the other big category is
best comic,
who is our dear friend and new
partner?
I don't know.
Vinny
Associate?
Paulino.
Yeah,
Vote
Vinny
for
Paulino.
him, people. Paulino.
And Vinny Paulino.
Vinny Paulino. Vote for him for best comic.
And Vinny Paulino.
So that has been our headline news. Thank you so much for hanging out. When we come back, we're going to talk about spaceships,
I don't know, maybe.
UFOs, burning over submarines, and
Maybe
Yes,
a motorcycle chase.
We will definitely discuss UFOs.
Motorcycle chase is SUV. Google it.
maybe.
No, that's why we have news girls.
That is why
Google
we
it.
have news girls. So it's time for break. We're going to break. Peace out.
Today's the day when I know it's how much further I'm willing to go. I'm feeling so down and losing my will. This is all I have left to give as I start to fall to the ground. How much longer will I go? The pain inside, I'll never know. How much further will I go? But side to side, I'll never know. Will I have enough to go on? Or could this be the ending right now? What's this torment? Really too much? Or has my hell known too much as I fall one last time? How much longer will I go? The pain inside, I'll never know. How much further will I go? Side to side, I'll never know.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for Girl News.
Hey, Nikki, what's the difference between a Catholic priest and acne?
Acne doesn't come all over a boy's face until he's 13.
And that was Girl News. Thanks for hanging out with us.
a reason. Frontalot can tell it to you plain. And there's a reason. Frontalot can tell it to you plain. And there's a reason. Frontalot can tell it to you plain. And there's a reason. Frontalot.
I'm renowned for my genuine and forthright stance. Now I never nod knowingly nor wink in a glance. Gotta think in advance, plot ahead and prepare. Cause the name of the MC once it's declared is a strong signifier of a fast one. Told was a fat tank of fronting turned a teaspoonful. Are you supposed to suppose I've inverted my act? Is it yet another feint to disorient and distract? Here's a pact, let's enter it, all be good. But the length of the song that's already afoot, and I'll put a little English on it. But believe that the last thing Frontalot will do is deceive. So please, this is actual and not made up. But if Frontalot says it, skepticism erupts. I'm not driven to hush, you can heed the reply. Always tell it like it is, and there is a reason why.
The reason. Frontalot can tell it to you plain. And there's a reason. Frontalot can tell it to you plain. And there's a reason. Frontalot can tell it to you plain. And there's a reason. Frontalot can tell it to you plain.
Thank you for joining us and sticking around on AirWreck Radio.
Not AirWreckRadio. That's different.
Ooh, back! Wow, that's a throwback to the early. We got to come up with a name for that. With the early podcasts. Yeah, not AirWreck Radio, not AirWrecka. Fuck that bitch.
The toddler casts. Yeah, you would call them.
AirWreckRadio.com. Thank you for throwing that jingle back. Thank you. That's usually my gig. Usually, I like to plug AirWreck Radio and AirWreckRadio.com in the same sentence because at any time it's interchangeable. Also, what I like to plug is our newest show, part of AirWreck, a little spin-off. Not part of ROC Podcast quite yet.
What is this newest show?
It's getting its legs. And that is SportsWreck.
SportsWreck, huh?
SportsWreck. And I have fun every week doing it. What's
that about?
It's a sports show.
A sports show?
Actually,
the name implies as much. I should have guessed.
Yeah, haha. Dun-dun-dun. But it's actually turned into an NFL football show. Until NFL.
Well, it is NFL season, and I, as a lackluster sports fan, have to say, there's really only one sport in America that I give a damn about.
The NFL football.
I was going to say NASCAR, but, whatever. NFL football, sure.
Yeah, no, that's one I really wanted to... it was a market I wanted to get.
I know all about your Bill Gordons and your Jeff Earnharts and shit like that.
Turning
left, baby. Turning left and burning gas.
I love it. I love it. You suck horribly.
No, obviously football is the sport of the season.
Yeah, so we're kind of stuck on it. But hopefully in the off season I'll be able to get off onto some other sports.
You're going to have to learn about baseball. You know that, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. But Coach Buck knows a fair amount about baseball, so hopefully he'll be able to educate me.
Coach Beck knows a lot about baseball.
Coach Buck, the rum pirate, baby.
The rum pirate?
The rum pirate.
Oh, rum pirate.
He's a pirate, and he's drunk on rum.
I thought that was a play on words about an umpire being a rumpire.
Oh, I got a new piece of production to make. Hold on. Scribble, scribble, scribble.
The ass man is the rumpire.
Scribble, scribble, Seinfeld reference. Scribble, scribble, scribble. It's a sports show about sports.
Word.
It's me and Coach Buck sit down every week to discuss, usually right now, the state of the NFL, but sports in general. Weigh in on certain big picture topic. It's about an hour show. It's a quick, fun thing.
Can I ask you, when you do this show, are there breaks, or do you guys do like the whole hour all in go?
No, it's just straight out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And how much does that cost me to listen to?
Like any podcast that's worth its beans, that costs you zero, sir. Zero. Not a goddamn thing.
So, what you're saying is that any podcast worth its beans is worth zero beans.
Zero beans, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. If a podcast tries to charge you to listen to it, you should do some serious investigation.
Yeah, and then you should give them some money.
No.
I don't know, man. There's some podcasts out there that I would pay the money for.
Now we're in a different subject. We're talking about donations.
Dan
if you want to
Carlin,
donate, Dan Carlin,
for example, does Hardcore History and Dan Carlin's Common Sense.
Who deserves a plug, if anybody deserves a plug.
These are two podcasts that we both listen to and love.
Love. But if you want to donate to Dan Carlin, you can find it on his website.
$1 a show is his thing.
Yeah,
I like it. I don't pay $1 a show, but I've thought about it several times. But then I was like, I just listened to 5 shows. That's like 5 McChickens, man.
Yeah, that's what I ate for lunch. Thank you.
No, it's not.
No, 2.
So 3.
No, 2, because that's what I had quarters for.
Oh, I see.
But you shouldn't have to pay for podcast entertainment. That's bullshit. Have you ever had to pay for FM radio? Bullshit. No, you haven't.
You shouldn't have to pay for podcast.
You're not going
radio,
to
but
ever.
Somebody should. God damn it.
Yeah, somebody should, but it shouldn't be you. It should be our fine sponsorships like
Hideaway Brewery.
The Hideaway Brewery.
Brought to you tonight by Keystone Light. Keystone Light. The most affordable beer you can stand to drink.
Something like that. You can almost stand to drink it.
It's beer-ish. It's almost a good beer.
It's my broke beer, I'll tell you what.
Hey, man, for less than $20 a 30-pack, it's got my vote.
Yeah. 1985.
You know how much a 30-pack of Hideaway Brewery beer costs?
$30.
About $30.
See?
That's unless it's honey nut brown, then you're into the $35 mark, and that's just no fun at all. Although, that beer will make you really drunk and take a nap.
How much for the just a straight honey? The honey ale.
Honey is really expensive.
Yeah.
So honey nut brown and honey and the honey.
Is it an ale? The honey ale?
Yes.
It's an ale.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It is a wheat ale
with a honey backer.
With a significant amount of honey added.
Boy, do I like that honey ale.
So much so that it's half a mead. It is a strong, strong beer.
I like that beer.
Email us at
where?
AirWreckRadio@gmail.com
or
AirWreckRadio@AirWreckRadio.com.
Yes.
For those of us who like to type an assload of letters.
Copy paste.
Email us.
Scribble.
And I will mail you not only some fall foliage, I will mail you tickets to the Hideaway Brewery, where you will enjoy a show of your choice of the fine, entertaining show, AirWreck Radio.
And beverages are included in that, correct, sir?
And it's reasonably likely that there will be some homemade beer on hand at the time.
Yeah, if we have to go into like a secondary show situation to make some fucking beer, we should need to get that done. It'll be making beer with Stacy. It'll literally just be us making beer.
I can have Mixed Berry Light ready in 20 days.
See, why aren't I drinking Mixed Berry Light? What's the problem?
It costs about $35 to do it. I just haven't been able to bring myself to do it.
But that's like 20 on
beers.
Shit
I know.
Beer.
I know. It's 50 beers for $35 and no taxes. You don't pay taxes.
And I'm drinking crap beer, but I could be drinking Mixed Berry Light for $30.
Yes.
All right. Fair enough. Whatever. We were talking a lot in significance today about Obamacare.
We were. Let's call it for a moment. Let's pretend.
Okay.
Like we're intelligent people.
All right.
And we
pretend.
actually know what Obamacare is called. A reminder. Obamacare is. Do you know
what it's
Do you
called?
know the whole name of the Obamacare?
Affordable Health Care Act.
Affordable Care Act. It's the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act.
Oh, I didn't know the patient protection part.
I think that might be like a sub-act or maybe just one that goes along with it. I don't know.
Actually, the Affordable Health Care or the Affordable Care Act.
I actually only read that once, but it was on like the most well-researched site that I found it on. In my opinion.
All right.
To get back to the trust thing.
Back to the research upon research.
I assume, because of the amount of words that they used, that they did a lot of research. So that's how you can tell if I've done a lot of research. Do I have a lot of words? Or just a soundbite's worth of words.
And do I have jokes for it or not?
Right. I think the thing that frustrates me most about healthcare these days is it feels, and it's been this way for a while. This isn't new. This doesn't really have to do with Obamacare, but it really does. Why does it feel like you need to have a lawyer in order to have the right healthcare for yourself?
That's a very good question, sir.
Why is it like that?
I don't understand. I don't understand the health forms.
Shouldn't healthcare be something that like?
And I feel like I'm a pretty bright guy. I'm not a Mensa member by any stance, but I can do some paperwork. I'm not an idiot. I can do some math in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not.
I don't get healthcare forms. I don't get them.
The thing
I
of
don't
it
understand
is,
them.
if we're about to have state-run healthcare, and I sure want state-run healthcare, why aren't our state-run schools teaching us how to manage healthcare?
State-run schools don't teach you much of anything, but
Columbus discovered America.
Perverted American history and socialization skills at best. At best,
socialization skills has something to do with it.
Well, yeah, and I think what past of obscure American history and antiquated math techniques, I am not sure what public schools do teach our children.
Currently, the math techniques are subject to upgrades because we're starting to teach our children the Chinese way of doing math, which, personally,
is the right way of doing it.
My only problem with that is that they're not also teaching the parents.
Yeah, because I'm lost.
Because, if you want to keep parents engaged in their children's education, and I will tell you this right now, if you want to have successful children, keep their parents engaged in their education. But if by second grade your child is explaining math principles to you that you're like, that's not how I learned it, that's a fucking problem, man, because, doesn't matter how you learned it, they need to learn it that way, so you should know it that way.
And fourth grade is a perfect example. My oldest daughter's in fourth grade.
She's in fourth grade.
And she had a packet of summer homework that she didn't understand.
Did you?
Yeah, because it was, multiplication and division, so I was able to help her with it. Some clockwork and all that. But,
I missed the clockwork.
It was fun.
You know what that totally just reminded me of? That clock level on Mario 64.
Fair enough, yeah.
I'm sorry for the derailment, but that's what I went to.
My youngest is working on her counting to 200. But
my youngest is working on his thesis.
Your youngest is looking...
That's not true. He's working on saying words like abble, 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 abble.
Your youngest is working on finding his own penis. That's where
he knows where that
is. Right here, look, I touch it and it grows, Daddy.
It's over the scary hole on the toilet.
Oh, God. It makes a barking noise.
I hate potty training.
Uh-huh.
I've never had to potty train a boy before.
It was way more fun for me potty training a boy than a girl.
Yeah, because you do you sword fight, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you do? Don't cross the street.
I also use the Cheerios technique.
Where you gotta hit the Cheerio?
Yeah, drop a couple Cheerios.
It's like Battleship with your T-stream.
Exactly. Sink the Cheerios, which don't ever sink.
These are things that people don't talk about, but people should talk about because some people... I happen to know a 3-year-old who hasn't even begun potty training yet because they're waiting for him to be ready. Are you kidding me?
I'm tired of changing your diaper. Let's get the hell off. Let's move on.
When your child can
when you're in a size 6 diaper.
When your child can bring you a diaper because it's time to be changed, your child can afford to be potty trained.
Yeah, if your child takes its own diaper off.
Yeah. Wipes itself and puts a new diaper on. It's time to start potty training. It's actually a little late.
My daughters were both big because I'm a big guy. Plus, my ex-wife was gestational diabetic, which breeds some big babies. They hit size 6 diapers. I was like, so what's the next size? They're like, there isn't. I was like, oh, Sit on the toilet.
Good thing you have a laundromat to your name, sir. You can get a lot of pillowcases and learn how to fold diapers.
Well, that's what they said. You got to go to cloth diapers. I was like, no, I don't.
Yeah, gross. I would rather destroy the environment 12 diapers a day at a time than use a cloth diaper.
From a guy who owns a laundromat who can make a lot of money doing diapers.
Gross.
Yeah, gross. Mm-mm. We do diapers.
Do diapers.
We do diapers.
Do diapers.
Do. But
what kind of diapers do you do?
Do diapers.
Do diapers.
Well, anyways, about Obamacare.
Oh, about Obamacare. It's all doo-doo diapers, man. It really just, it all comes down to the fact that it's all doo-doo in diapers. And currently, there are a certain group of doo-doo diaper-having people that are willing to shut down our government in order to stop healthcare that the democratically elected majority wants.
How do we trust the democratic elected majority? Sorry, my bad.
You trust them by noticing that their doo-doo diapers are slightly less doo-doo-y these days.
Doo-doo diapers. I'm glad that we can have that doo-doo diapers moment.
You're welcome for it. I actually... We're both welcome for it. And if you're listening to this show right now,
so are you.
You're welcome for it too.
Exactly.
And as a means of showing you how welcome you are for it, we have reached the end of the show.
Well, you suck, so I guess I'll save it for next week. What's the summary here? Government shuts down because Republicans are asswipes. Yes, no?
It's unfair. I want to be concise about this. It's unfair to say that it's because Republicans are asswipes, because House Republicans would certainly say it's because the Democrats are unwilling to bend. And you have to look at that.
I'm letting you have it before I start talking.
You have to look at that like it might be the truth.
Oh my God. Liberals don't bend. They're the most spineless, weak motherfuckers
I know,
on earth.
It's a little silly, but you know what? They're also like rich business owners, so they can't be that fucking spineless. Let's be real here. Let's be real about who these people
Let's bring it back to the original steps of the Democratic-based Obamacare. And then what we're talking about today, which is the Affordable Care Act, which are two very different things.
They are. The Affordable Care Act is
you know why? Because
ridiculous.
The Democrats were pussies and could continue to cave to every Republican demand until
I don't think that's fair.
Bullshit.
I don't think that's a fair statement, and here's why I don't think it's a fair statement. Certainly, the Democrats yielded a lot of ground between the Single Payer Act and the Affordable Care Act. Certainly they yielded a lot of ground, but they yielded, and now they've drawn a line, and this line is a compromise. But if it goes through, which it already has, I mean, it starts tomorrow or yesterday, depending on where you're listening from. That goes through, we're going to find that. Is it perfect? No. Was the perfect plan presented first? Maybe. We'll find out. But at least we've got something. And it's a starting point. It's not a super strong starting point, but it's not a super weak starting point either. This is going to save Americans money. And what Americans do with the money they save is spend it in the American economy. How can anybody be against unilateral health care for all citizens?
Nobody is.
I think some people are. I think somebody right now is smashing their head against the fucking steering wheel and being like, how the fuck can anybody be for unilateral health care? And they're to them, they're right.
To me, they're fucking retarded.
And that's why they're smashing their head against the steering wheel.
Stop listening.
To help prove your point.
change the fucking channel. Oh wait, not channel.
You can't change the channel. This is the internet, bitches.
Bitches, internet radio, motherfucker.
You know what the nice thing about internet radio is?
What's that, sir?
It's over for the night. Thank you so much for joining us on AirWreckRadio. Good night.
Now wouldn't you know it? There goes the phone again. It's probably just another wrong number, but someone tried to sell me something I can't even see. Well, I got the solution. How to deal with this insanity. Just sit down in my easy chair and take a big sip of my sassafras tea.
I'd like to extend a very special thanks to Kevin McLeod of Incompetech.com, freesounds.org, Audacity Software, GIMP graphic editors, all our band friends, our guests tonight, my dear friend Stacy, and all you, our loyal listeners.
It's getting near evening, the sun rolling down. I guess I should shake a leg, climb in my car and roll downtown. Check out the city lights, all decked out in a tux and a tie. But I'm sitting in my easy chair, taking a sip of my sassafras tea. Now wouldn't you know it? Oh, here come my neighbor Jim. He got the willies and the worries on his mind, and the weight of the world putting pressure on his spine. Well, I got the solution.